Moloch's head. You know, the star Rephram that Sakari uses, that's a real thing. There's real witchcraft iron that they got our people in right now. Right now, the Mason thing with the hand, that's an idol. The so-called, what's the you know it, the Carnoto, that goes back to an Elamite idol. So this nigga Esau, it's like he was Santa Claus and he didn't give toys, he took them and then gave them to y'all.
Yeah, remember I was telling you that hat, that baseball hat, I forgot what team it is, but it's a W, that's a snake.
Yeah, the Washington something.
Like,
Yup.
Nationals, I think.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Nationals.
Yep,
Yeah.
all that shit, man.
Then also to prove that too, on that demonic shit, like people today, like what do they do heavily? They stick their tongues out.
Yep.
And that's going. What's that?
Elam.
Yeah, Elam. You know, it's a god. I think it's Shiva.
War, destruction.
Yeah, the water. You know.
You also had, and mind you, all these idols, they were putting them up in our land. When the kings came and defeated us, they brought heathens in and they put their gods up in our land. So the Lord was sending lions to jack their ass up, you know. But they got idols of where they were worshiping dogs. So like the Bulldog, the college team. You got all these shit go back to things. You got to watch these guys, man. You know, with what you worship, and that's why people go so hard for football and NBA teams, because there really is an idol.
Yep.
The star, go Cowboy! They're idols.
So they was having it over in Buffalo. Motherfuckers was getting found dead, like for a couple years over that. Come with a different jersey on.
See?
Represents the team.
See?
The team person.
Yep.
And then you find the motherfuckers under the bleachers and
See?
they'll beat your ass.
See? You got it, bro.
Going into some history, this is page 89 from Who is Esau Edom? Because the brother had mentioned not everybody came back from Babylon. It says, return of Judites from Babylonian captivity, migrated to Europe as Celts, Goths, Saxons, Irish, Scots, Danes, etc. The 12 tribes of Israel under the new covenant. So everybody came back.
That was during the Babylonian, and then you had the Greeks. Then you had so you already had
soldiers, right? They're Judites.
See, so they were already. That's a cut right there. We could cut the Gentile doctrine going back to the Babylonian.
Right, it says Judah royal title Zerah, ancestor of Trojans, Judas, and early British royal lines.
Come on,
Right,
man.
that's plain, man.
Yep. Oh, so like real quick, that proves why Jake was the Spartans.
Yep.
Because they were already way over there.
The Macedonians.
They were already way over there. Yep. They've been traveled that way, fighting, you know.
89.
Where was he at?
He had a little bit more.
I'm back in Ezekiel 37 and verse 9. Then say he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus said Yahweh Shem Yahushai, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live.
No, you got it.
You got it, brother.
No, I'm saying, now what's that mean? Breathe upon, you know, prophesize unto the wind now. We are prophesizing right now, per se unto the wind, but also when we do our lessons. It's not at this person.
Nobody's there.
It's just going out. It's just literally a message in a bottle. Yep. So it's going out and it's going who it needs to. Yep. You know what I mean?
And that's why these videos are what? Spiritually pistols. You know, it's like your Mandre pistols.
Mm-hmm.
You know, letters.
Yep.
It says, so I prophesied as he commanded me,
yep.
and the breath came into them,
that's
and they
lived.
lived.
It's like, and that's commandment to prophesy, man. So you got like a lot of groups out here, you know, like they're not prophesying, you know, about certain things, about the MOTB, about World War III, about the return of Yahweh Shai, like Jacob's trouble. Like they're not saying none of those things, man. You know.
It says, therefore prophesy. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the birth came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet,
yep.
an exceeding great army.
An exceeding great army. And guess what's that? Like right there is what? The house of David. All right, the elect. All right, we're going to talk about the
not according to Nate.
So I prophesied as he commanded me,
yep.
and the breath came in unto them.
That wisdom and knowledge, the Holy Spirit, you know, came in unto the elect. All right.
And they lived and stood upon their feet.
And they lived, you know, coming from that valley of being dry bones, you know.
And stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
Right, an exceeding great army. That's right now, man. All right, you have the Revelation 11 and 8. Yep.
Start at 8.
Yeah.
This is Revelations 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
Mm-hmm. And what's that great city? America. All right, Babylon. All right, and their dead bodies. What meaning? Also meaning that they're spiritually dead, but also Israelites are being gunned down the streets, man. All right.
Revelations 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Spiritually, it's called Sodom and Egypt. All right, this place, America, takes some customs of Sodom, Gomorrah, and Egypt, man. All right, look at for Egypt. Just look at the damn fiat currency. All right, for Sodom and Gomorrah, just look at the people.
The rights.
All right, the rights. Last year we had what? We had that Pride. You know what I mean? It's like not last year, but 2 months ago, had the Pride month. You know, but guess what? Pride go before destruction.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, and not only that, there's a lot of well, ultimately with Egypt, it's the bondage.
Yeah,
We're in bondage because it says ye should be brought to Egypt. So ultimately, it is symbolizing our bondage and captivity. But then there's a lot of correlations of Egypt that's here today. You know, a lot of things. And you know, like, hey, Cyrus, what's up, brother? What's up, brother? You too, brother. Like with Egypt, guess what they sold Jake for after a hard day's work? Beer. What's Jake do after he gets done working? He goes home and he feel justified. Yep. You know, I work. Shit, I did construction before I came in the truth. What? I'm busting ass all day. I might have me a beer or two. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You know, right? But then that became that lifestyle. Jake lives that lifestyle now. But they used to do that back then. Jake gets, a little sauced up, get that malt liquor in him. You know, there's a lot of bowling. There's a lot of things, the gods. There's a lot of things that are from Egypt that you literally see here today.
Sarcophagus coffin.
Yep.
Modern day sarcophagus is a coffin.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. That's true. That's a very good point.
Being that we were in bondage, physically out there in Egypt, now we're in bondage over here, spiritually, mentally. Yep. But us, through Yahweh Shai, it's like through Yahweh Shai, through His word, we've been made free.
Yep.
You know.
I'll read this. It goes right with it. This is Revelation 11 and 8. I'm using the BibleHub.com website. I went to the Ellicott's commentary for English readers. It says, and their dead bodies and their corpse is upon the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where their Lord was crucified. And some from among the peoples and tribes and tongues and nations look upon their corpse 3 days and a half, and do not suffer their corpses to be put in the tomb. And they that dwell upon the earth rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt upon the earth. It says, their corpses remain unburied, while congratulations and rejoicings go on. Harmony and concord prevail, as when Pilate and Herod were made friends. It is the millennium of evil, the paradise of fools who make a mock at sin. But the forms of the witnesses, though silent, still in silence, witness against evil. At no time are they hid away out of sight, even in the age of religious and social anarchy, which is what's going on right now. And the reason why they didn't suffer us to be put in graves, because they're dead themselves. Like if you give someone a grave, what do you put on the tombstone? You put their name, all type of information. So it's a memorial. There's no memorial out here for us. The only memorial out here for us is starting with the apostles and elders of great millstones. They're the ones who brought us back to who we are. They gave us that rest. That's why we're at peace right now.
Right.
The prophecy from Elijah coming back, and their elders first, and then down to them, to that full awakening we have now. Good. This is Revelations 11, and he kind of read it, so I'll just jump to 11. This is Revelations 11 and 11. This is Revelations 11 and 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half. And
the time we were in slavery.
Chattel slavery.
16, 19, because the Lord said He's gonna save the tents of Judah first. Up until 1970. The Lord put opportunities on us.
Right.
It says, shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another.
And that's when you had Edomites. They were sending fucking gift cards, to one another, regarding our oppression and our demise, man.
All of us and us, our families, our children.
Yeah.
We were those gifts.
Yeah, right. Ultimately.
I got
Auction block.
This is Lamentations chapter 2 and verse 15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem.
Right. Who was that? These heathens, man. Like they know they were oppressed, and they love to see us, be at very, very, very low state, man. All right.
Yeah, the other day we was helping this Jake. He was delivering like soda or something, and it's the ground's all gravel because they're doing new construction, and he's clearly struggling trying to pull this pallet machine, and he's fat, fuck, nasty ass Edomite. He's sitting there overweight with a cigarette watching him, and we started helping him, and I said, "What's you just gonna stand there and watch?" Had to call his ass out because they like seeing us just in our lowest state, struggling when your ass could help. That's all they do. They further our affliction. It's fucking bumper to bumper, but they're right on your ass, beeping and honking. You fucking running late for work because the bullshit out of order bus system brings you late, and you're supposed to be here. Like, what did I miss in 5 minutes, bitch? There's no mercy, bro. No fucking mercy from these people. All of them. Watching you spit you on stolen land.
Right.
Hurry up and buy it.
Matter of fact,
Hold
that. You need Jose from one part of the shop.
With the card that.
Right. Rude as fuck, too. Hey, brothers, you need to start telling on Esau. Like, if you go to an establishment, and hey, man, I almost reported a motherfucker the other day because we're walking by and he takes his grocery cart. Hey, you got to be courteous. You work here. I'm the customer. Use that shit against their ass. You don't got to trip. You don't got to wall out. You ain't got to pull scriptures. Hey, man, I need to speak to you. They'll like that. Oh, shit, yeah. You can't beat up on us no more, man. You can't do that shit no more. We're not in that season. No, Esau can't just call you a nigger. He can't just walk through and no. Say excuse me when you walk by.
It's not Jim Crow.
Have some manners.
That's right, man.
Fucking piece of shit, man. Yeah, it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
4-1.
Yep, I'll be sharp.
This is Hosea 4-1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel.
Yep.
For the Lord has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
Right. This land, America. All right, and not only this land, but the people who live in this land,
right? Mainly
the Edomites, because why? Because this is right, at this point in time, this is their kingdom. All right, and the word controversy, it means what? Case at law, strife, beef, basically,
And it says, because there is no truth nor mercy.
Right, no truth in this land. All right, everything here, like the fucking school system, is all a bunch of fucking lies. All right, everything here, everything here we see and been taught, like we all been lied to, And they said no mercy, Esau, he shows no lick of mercy, man. All right, he won't even give you a drink of water. This nigga is so unmerciful.
Yeah, bro.
All right.
And then going back to no truth, even some on a low level, you're driving by and the advertisement, he'll say free. But, he'll say free, but at the bottom, it'll be like Wi-Fi, like, bro, I'm telling you, this shit it's witchcraft.
Subject to a 3-year agreement.
And then what's even crazier, when you go into a grocery store, say you're buying a canned good, right here it says $1.99, but when you get to the fucking register, it's like $2.14. So bitch, put $2.14.
Right.
Put it what it fully is. What? Why the lie? You know what I mean?
It's very, very, very misleading.
Five below, it's above 5. Then the dollar store, it's above $1. It's above $1. You know what I mean? The place is bullshit, man. It's all false advertisements, nothing but lies. And it could drain you. It could, you get frustrated with this place.
And also to land back where it says there's no truth. Who's the truth? Yahweh.
Right. And that's crucified.
Exactly.
Right. And that's why everything here is what? Tainted and upside down, man. Like everything here that's deemed to be good is evil, and vice versa, man.
Yep. And it says, there is no truth nor mercy. Here it is, Marah. nor knowledge of the Most High in the land.
Nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. Like nobody here knows the Most High except for the elect. All right, like nobody here is praising Yahweh Shema Shai except for the house of David, man. All right, like everything here, like the laws is so unrighteous. Everything here is so unrighteous, man. You know, you got adultery right now going on. You got pedophilia, sex rings. Then you got transformers and momos.
You got a heavy judgment about to commence on women. From
That's
the family court
yeah.
system, men having their children taken away. You know,
Yeah. Well, you just had this dude get arrested. I didn't do a lesson on it, but it was spiritual. It was an Edomite who got arrested with a whole bunch of just all his blessings. You know, he had it all. And he had a plan to kill 3,000 women.
Oh yeah. So,
And he was going to start with a sorority.
Man.
Why? It's a bunch of fucking hoes and whores, man.
Right.
You know?
And that's one thing too. College, like that puts a very demonic and a sexual demon on females, man.
Well, I got it's a god. There's an actual god that they worship that was a tent where you had sex with women in. That's a fucking college. That's a strip club. That's their music videos.
Yep.
So those sorority houses, I got it. We can go to 2 Kings. I was actually going into it. It literally means the tent of daughters, and they would go and do impure acts, sexual acts in it. I remember when I was a kid, I watched the movie Love Potion number 9. You know that? Remember that? Love Potion number 9, where they drank the potion and he became like a ladies' man.
Okay.
And you brothers can Google it, you know. Yeah. But anyways, he took it and went into the sorority, and it was outside, and each light popped on like every other. He was running through it.
Wow.
That's what they do. They run through them things, man. And the bachelorette party, that's a specific demon that's in there.
Spiritual judgment coming.
Probably to go pick up some nasty woman. But there's actually deities that were worshipped in ancient days, and the idol was just you coming together and having sex with specifically the women. Yep.
Yep, that's it right there.
this is a post I saw on YouTube from 21 Studios. The dude is Anthony Johnson. He said, American women are living on borrowed time. Your entire existence depends on the benevolence of men,
Right.
past and present,
Right.
men who are rapidly walking away.
Right, and that's true, man. Like people, like, listen, like, man, this, like, these females here are put in such a, like, they're put in a fucking pedestal, man. But now you have men waking up, be like, fuck that bitch, man. Excuse my language, but like, I gotta say it plain. Like they're idols.
Well, that's what you would put on a pedestal.
Right, an idol. You know, but guess what? But it's that Isaiah 19. It says what the idols are going to melt in the midst thereof. You know, the idols of Egypt. You know.
You got actual, you got idols in Israel teaching. Y'all seen that witch that teaches with Sarnetta? Have you seen it, Marar? Yeah, there's a witch.
Yeah.
She always goes back to one west. Big, thick body, big breast, looks good, but she's a fucking lustful, she's a demon.
Yeah.
She be going around and having men lust over her. She's a straight up demon in Israel.
She's a snare.
And she's a snare. Don't stumble at her beauty. That's a witch, man. And Sarnetta's sitting there simping on her ass while she's outing other Israelite men. They're like, what up, you single? And just bitch playing. Jumping to man. She might not get popped by him, because that's what a lust demon does. You're only gonna lust after till you get what you want.
Right.
So you gotta watch it. Even in Israel, you got demons doing that, man.
That's why, you know, in these last days, Yahweh Shema Shai is going to, he's going to send a lot of spirits to bestow judgment upon females out here, man. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of judgment.
We're in Hosea. There's one
yeah,
more
Hosea,
verse.
Hosea.
Hosea 4:2. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing. This sound like a fucking rap lyric, right? It sounds like some shit you hear on World Star. Which the Lord is jacking up those fucking goblins. All these niggas out here shooting, gang banging. Why do y'all about to outside, man? Because we would have been stoned those niggas if we was back in the ancient time, man.
200 of them niggas got dropped last year.
Yes. Yep. They going to jail, everything.
Yep. Good. And it says, and committing adultery.
Adultery, and that's a big thing here, man. You know, fuck that nigga. You know, everything here is demonic here, man. You know, everything here is a very demonic and low vibration. You know,
that's all to attack you.
Yep.
It's all to attack you.
Spiritually, mentally.
Yep.
Yep.
And it says, they break out, and blood touches blood.
Right, blood touches blood. That's talking about us, man. The evil lie, blood touches blood. The curse and blood, things of that matter.
The evil lie towards that brother.
That's right.
Then the diss records.
Yep. Banging on wax.
Yep. Y'all know that Deacon the Demon, he made a diss track about G-Man. Like, bro, you got that much time on your hand? But that's that spirit though. You made here it is. This song ain't good enough to diss him with. You can't diss, per se, you can't diss him with this.
Right.
You gotta go on wax with your little fucking black love hat and rapping is lame, bro.
Back in Ezekiel 37 and verse 11, then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel.
Right. These bones are the whole house of Israel.
Not Judah.
Right.
Behold, they say, our bones are dry, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus said Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel.
And a good account, matter of fact, that Matthew, I believe, a good account was when after Yahushua, he got, he passed away, the graves opened up, and the Israelites, they were back in the flesh, they were glowing, and they lived, and went back to, I forgot where they went, like after they was resurrected. But
they went back to their land.
Right, their land.
They're in their land.
People marvel at that.
Yeah, which they're in Jerusalem already. They're in Jerusalem.
Actually, Shaquem did up.
That account?
Yeah. It's on my phone. No, but read one time, Papa Shaw.
It says, Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus said Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel.
What's that? Being spiritually dead. Being spiritually resurrected, if you will.
Right, because the grave is a miracle. The grave is everywhere Jacob scattered under the curses, not knowing. Now it is being opened up through the men the Most High set up.
That's right.
To stir up your pure mind.
That's right. Oh, you got it? Oh, wait, brother.
Matthew's
52.
Matthew's 27 and 50.
Yeah.
It says, Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom. And the earth did quake, and the rocks rent.
That's literally Ezekiel 37. It said a great earthquake. I'm sorry, brother.
You gotta go ahead.
It said a great earthquake. That happened. What? Ultimately with Yahushua.
Right.
And then back now here through him.
Yep. My bad. No. And that veil being broken in half, and that was symbolic for what? The doing away of what? The sacrificial law. Because why? Because Yahushua is the what? The sacrificial lamb.
Right, the priesthood.
Right, the with the water. Right, the water.
And Yahushua being coming that high priest.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you don't know what shook even in the temple. You know what I mean? Like you look, we're in a liquor store that day. I was like, imagine if an earthquake happened right now. That shit would, and then you got to think, what are some of the stuff in the temple? You could have, had vessels. Everything was knocked over.
Right.
So that was the Lord. Like when he went and flipped the tables, that was like, man, done away with. It's done. You had a now they imagine them going in there and re-picking everything up to still sacrifice. Like, man, some don't feel right. I feel like the spirit changed. You know what I mean? That's what happened. The spirit changed. Because you got to think what got affected when the veil rent, when the temple got shook, when the great earthquake, when people rose. Like, people started looking at wicked Levites like, you motherfucker.
Right.
Right. Real shit.
A lot of people love it.
Yeah. Right.
It says, verse 52, and the graves were open.
Yep, and the graves were open back in going back to what? Ezekiel 37,
Check this out. And many bodies of the saints which slept arose.
And who are the saints? The Israelites. And it said what? It said what? Slept, right? Meaning what? They were dead. They arose, man. And right there is spiritual for who? For us, the exceeding great army, the house of David. Because we got the sinews, the flesh, then what? Ultimately, what? That breath of life, the Holy Spirit. Guess what? Now we're living. Matter of fact, give me that.
So like he's got one more verse.
Oh, sorry, Slakia. Yep.
It says,
2 Peter 3.
and came out of the graves after his resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared unto many.
Right.
See, there you
Right.
go.
The holy city. That's right. Jerusalem.
Jerusalem.
Yep. Jerusalem. Yep.
Which has been a battleground since, you know, pimping. Like, bro, we so much, man. But we about to go back and get rest in that land, man. Like when it says Issachar, that land is, you know, beautiful. Like it's gonna be beauty, man. Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. We get our land back. Everything's being rebuilt. Like that land is very spiritual. That's why heathens always brought demons with them there and idols with them, because there's a very spiritual vibration. Do you brothers know that there's like, Gabar, you might know, but there's something, it's called something, but when people go to Jerusalem, you know they bug out? There's like there's actually counts that they like, they get all crazy. It's a holy land. Bro, Abraham was born there, or buried there, I'm sorry. Hebron, you know, Abraham was buried there. Jacob went in the same place Abraham and Sarah went. Like it's a high level land of our history. Jake talking about a block. What about our land? You know?
Right. And actually, what's that movie? It's called Jerusalem. Remember, it's called
I was
Jerusalem?
thinking about talking.
Watch that.
Bro, watch it.
Yeah.
Because it actually goes into the witchcraft that those rabbis go into with their idols.
Yeah.
Since the spirits God is getting the idols, they got an idol called Gollum. Which they made a Pokemon out of. Which those are demons.
Pokemonster.
We in hell, man.
Yeah, man.
We in the depths of hell. You got it, brother.
2 Peter 3, verse 1. This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by the way of remembrance.
Right, stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. All right, and what's that pure minds? Knowing who we were, knowing the names of Yahweh Shema Shai, you know, faith, everything, everything, man. All right,
Call it out for him again.
2 Peter 3, verse 1.
You start with top slide.
This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you.
Right, you. Who is that? Beloved, the house of David. You know, that would die.
In both which I stir up your pure minds by the way of remembrance.
Right, stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. You know, it's like in the word stir up, it means what? To be rendered active, to be awoken. All right.
That ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets, and of the commandment of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior.
Right. And that's why it says what? Look at the days of old, you know, the ancient. You know, and that's why it says what? Romans 14:5 says this is our, you know, instruction for what? For hope and learning. You know?
Yep.
Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers.
The last days scoffers. Actually, it's like I'll stop right there. I want to make a point. We'll get that 2 Corinthians, matter of fact. Because you know, like it's all spiritual. How we come back to Yahweh Shema Shai waking up. You know.
This is 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature.
Yep.
All things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new.
Right, a new creature. Who is that? That's us, man. The creature in what? In Yahweh Shai. You know, and what did it say? It said all things become new. And ultimately what? That's going to be what? This kingdom being done away with. You know, and then after that, it's going to be the commencement of the kingdom of who? Of Israel, the New Jerusalem. Right? The New Jerusalem. Start starting off with the Yahweh Shai of the elect. All right?
Yeah.
2 Peter 3 and verse 4. And saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished.
Yep, and what's that word? The old world, right? The days of Noah.
Well, he said out of the water, in the water, because remember the water was separated from the firmaments, the heaven being water or space from this water down here. You know?
That's right. And that right there is called what? The first death. You know?
Yeah, and I also want to add, when it said there should be scoffers in the last days, well, if you look, is there anybody disputing us here? No, those scoffers are your General Yohanas, your Elazars. They're scoffing at the knowledge we have. They're blaspheming the Holy Spirit. They're blaspheming when they say Hebrew. They're scoffing. They're blaspheming when they say Hebrews ain't a part of, you know, whatever the shit they say. Yeah, that's a form of scoffing. Oh, they scoffed at the law of Deuteronomy 22. You know, they scoff at us having the Holy Spirit. They're
faith-based Israelites.
Being faith-based, they scoff. So you gotta open your mind, you know, to the scoffing. It's not just someone, yeah, nigga, yeah. No, Israelites are scoffing. So-called teachers are scoffing. They scoff at Elder Pastor all the time. You know?
It says, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, was earth unto fire.
Right, and what's that right now? In these last days, man, here in Babylon, America, man. All right, it says what? It says that America is reserved unto fire. You know,
against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
Right, now word perdition means what? Destruction of ungodly men. Starting off with Esau. You know, and also who? The 2/3 of Israel, man, because a lot of Israelites are very, very ungodly, man. You know, they commit a lot of blasphemy. You know, of INHABITANTS, the Holy Spirit. You know, scoffing and whatnot, and that's why, you know, them saying these things, and committing these actions, they're gonna be judged, man. You know.
And a good point too is said fire for ungodly men. Well, remember it said in Revelations, the spiritual Sodom. Yep. What happened to the ungodly men in Sodom? It was fire. You know?
That's right. Fire and brimstone. You know, and guess what? That fire and brimstone is going to come in what? And the fashion, the form of thermonuclear destruction of missiles.
Well, the Lord made the vine of Sodom create the fire and brimstone. You know, Esau.
Right. Right.
Here it is. Here it is. He legalized it, and now it's like sanctified, being burned with destruction for it.
Right.
You created something that the Lord's going to use to judge you for legalizing it.
Yep.
Surely his name is
right.
Jacob.
Isaiah 54. You know?
Trick bag.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing,
right, that
one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
Right, so right now, us being captivity, according to the time of Yahweh, Bashim Shai, that's nothing, man. You know, but here on earth in the flesh, that's a long ass time. That's a very long time, man. You know, and that's why Shai said what? He said, "Behold, I come quickly." He said, "Hold fast, which thou hast, man." You know.
So if one day is 1,000, then that tells you that the earth was created, you know, in 6,000 years.
Yep.
And then they rested on the 7th or 7,000, however you will. You know what I mean? So people don't know that. They think it's 7 literal days.
Right.
It was 7,000, or if you will, 6,000. Because man was created the 5th, you know what I mean? And the 6th this, and then on the 7th they rested, you know? So per se, 7,000. See?
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise,
right,
as some men count slackness.
Right, some men count slackness. You know, they be like, "Oh man, he's not coming." You know, like scoffers, like they say, "Man, how Shai is not real," so on and so forth.
But why? Because of Hosea 4. Because it's full of lying,
right,
no truth. So they're gonna, you know what I mean? They're gonna look at slack because all they dealt with Esau.
Right.
Like, what trick you got?
Right.
You know, whatever you're selling, I'm not buying.